Mike Gill and Crash back for another round of scaring the hell out of everybody.
Hi, Mike. Don't scare people. We have enough of that.
You know what though? They should be scared. We should all be scared of what we're seeing. We're seeing, Donald Trump and the Epstein files?
I don't know.
What does it get scarier than that? This is what I want to do. Remember, I told you the path was their money. You've heard me say that many times. But have you noticed how this is all trickling down? Are you noticing Maxwell? And we're going to show you money launderer, Epstein, money launderer. Who was telling you that years before and
Right.
why she was in New Hampshire, right? Money laundering, not for millionaires, for billionaires. That's who. Major people, foundations, charitable foundations, like the Clinton Foundation, right? Which is also what I found. So, first, what I want to say before we get into that with the Department of Justice, think about this now and what you're seeing. Trump is being leveraged in the Epstein files. We know that. Who would be doing the leveraging? The Department of Justice. That was behind Jack Smith. Who would the senators in Congress are being leveraged and blackmail? By who would arrest them? Who would prosecute them? The Department of Justice. They are what controls the blackmail in the Senate, in the Congress. But think about it. What is the Department of Justice? The Department of Justice. They control justice. Right. Lawyers, judges, controlling justice, prosecution. Now think about it. Who could sell them insurance and protection? Who would they fear prosecution but the Department of Justice?
It makes sense. I don't know why people don't get it. It's who's going to prosecute them is, who they should be
It's
afraid.
who they fear.
Right.
Right. And what is it? A bunch of corrupt lawyers, ready, that worked in those law firms that were hired by the cartels and the child traffickers and the pharmaceutical companies and the insurers and the big banks. Are you getting it? It's the same cover up using the same lawyers that infiltrated into the Department of Justice, which is why at the top of the Department of Justice, we have nothing but criminals. It is the most trusted. It is the most corrupt. It is the most leverageable. The favorite words of lawyers are ready: leverage, leverage, leverage. That's what we're watching. That's the show you're seeing. It's a game of leverage. And who plays that game? Lawyers, the Department of Justice. The CIA can't prosecute. The DIA doesn't prosecute. The FBI sends their cases to the Department of Justice. Now, we're going to take you there and more proof of how the Department of Justice stopped the Pandora's box from opening.
Can I just I just want to say something real quick.
Yeah.
I was doing some research and like everybody you look up, not everybody, but a lot of people you look up who are now in the Department of Justice or not in the department, who are connected to a lot of the corruption. They were a lawyer or a judge.
Yes.
And
Yes.
ended up if you look into it, they ended up in the Department of Justice in either a criminal department or somewhere in the DOJ. So they went from lawyers to the DOJ. It's all
Right.
one big network. So it just blows my mind.
Bill
And
Shaheen.
they're
Bill
all
Shaheen, DOJ. Chris Christie, DOJ.
right. They all went, yeah, exactly.
And then at the head of the DOJ is the Attorney General's office. There's Barr.
Bill Barr. Yeah.
Right. Right. I wonder what happened. They were looking for themselves. Hey, you want to know if any of those politicians are good guys? Ready? Congress, the Senate, here you go. Are they turning in everybody in the Senate or the Congress going, he's corrupt, he's corrupt? This is what you do. All of them turn around and say we should all be investigated and audited. Anybody that says it refuses is out.
Yeah.
Get out. It's that simple. They're not turning on one another. You've got to catch them. It's not a senator turning in another senator. Nobody gave you Menendez. Nobody in the Senate gave you Menendez. They're all criminals. They're all on the take. They're all on the take from somebody. But the thing here is, again, the Department of Justice is what protects them. That's why they're in everything. Who protected the Hillary Clinton's emails? Department of Justice. Hunter Biden's laptop. Department of Justice. They're saying the FBI took it. They're not prosecuting. It's them. They control the evidence.
Right.
Remember, when all the evidence gets raided, it goes to the Department of Justice. It is a protection network. It goes on and on and on. It's not Obama. It's not a cabal. It's not a deep state. It's bullshit. It's this simple. The lawyers, the corrupt suckers that took over your courtrooms with lawyers became judges, became Department of Justice, became the AGs in the state.
Right.
It allows these cartels and money laundering each and happen. Okay, now let's take a trip. We're going to play this. We're going to say, what's the odds? What's the chances the Epstein files connects with Pandora's box? And we'll do a quick introduction and reminder of exactly what Pandora Papers was that happened after the Pandora's box. So we're going to take a little walkthrough, but let's start connecting the dots. Okay, let's start putting this together and saying, wait a minute, now we're the same players with Epstein and Maxwell, the same players with Pandora's box and location. How are they so interconnected to the point what I'm going to prove? It's impossible. It's a cover-up. It's a cover-up by the same cover-up team. And how about this? I've done videos on a cover-up by the cover-up team.
Yeah.
I think that might even be its name. I've been here before. Hey, you remember when that plane with Pence was landing in New Hampshire and they had to hit the brake and spin that baby around? He was meeting Sununu and Anagos at the Granite State Recovery Center, the one that's in Pandora's Papers that got threatened to murder the reporters. Oh, then Sununu, too, who then went to be governor. And all of a sudden, Granite State Recovery, again, turns out they're in the Pandora Papers. They're all in the Pandora Papers. Now, think about this. They gave you a trafficker. We had the whole cartel, a Sununu and a Pence, and they threw us a trafficker who got arrested 2 years before, a guy named Hatch, which was a counselor at that present time in the Granite State Recovery Center. Wait a minute, I thought he got arrested 2 years ago. Oh, wait a minute. He was also on the campaign trail with Senator Jean Shaheen about the evils of drugs. What kind of horse shit? And you know who was the writer of the article for the Manchester Union leader? A guy named Spinner. How's that for a spin job?
I was going to say good name.
Okay, so let's take a trip. All right, Crash, let's hit it with the first one. Now remember, what's the chances? What's the odds? The same players. And then why are the same players? And what did I call out? Okay, let's start. The DOJ meets with Maxwell. Wait a minute. Who snatched up Maxwell? The DOJ, and we'll get to it. I don't want to spoil things, and I don't want Crash to lose her mind. So, don't take anything out of order. All right. So the DOJ, right, meets with Maxwell. They're the ones who snatched her. That was the order to get her. So we're going back to there. So again, you don't know. And who's going to be with the DOJ meeting with Epstein? Not you, by the way. She should have an open sworn statement by her lawyer, public to the people. Now, hit the next one. Now, wait a minute now. Who is meeting Maxwell for the Department of Justice? The assistant attorney general. Whoa. The assistant attorney general, not a U.S. attorney, not a Jack Smith. No, Todd Blanche. Wait a minute. Isn't he Trump's personal lawyer?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's him there, right? Todd on the right.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, he's not in the middle,
Well, I know
and
that.
he's not the president.
Not just making sure.
So you're right.
I've
So
never
think
seen.
about this. Go ahead, Crash.
Oh, I was just saying I've never seen him, so I'm just making sure. I know who
Well,
he is.
if you look at those cases in New York and so forth, that's
Yeah,
Todd Blanche.
yeah. Okay.
Okay. So he's using his backup. And don't forget, Bondi, who is the AG, was the AG in Florida with prosecuting of Epstein. So we've got that conflict. We've got an assistant AG's conflict. I mean, we've got the DOJ, who are the criminals. You know what Maxwell is leveraging with? You ready? Leverage, leverage, leverage. The Department of Justice. Do you know what I'm showing you here? I'm pointing out to you that the head of this corruption is the Department of Justice and incriminating the Department of Justice, the same thing that Maxwell's doing. She's doing with the money end and the corruption end. So is I. That's the laundry. That's what Pandora Papers told you too. That's what she's telling you. So she's going to leverage Trump by simply saying, hey, listen, you're in the Epstein files. On paper, it don't look good any which way.
Can
But
I say that real quick? Can I
okay,
say,
go ahead, Crash.
when you say, now here's the thing, you don't know exactly what's in the Epstein files. So when I think of Trump in the files, I'm not thinking it's children. I'm thinking it's more of the money side. That's just and I wanted to put that in there because like when people
Yes.
hear you say that, we don't know, you don't know. And I'm just saying it's not always it's not a
It
bad,
can't be ruled out.
yeah,
Think about this. If he attracted Trump, as he did with a Bill Gates or something like this, by the money laundering aspect of it. That could have been the honey. As I think the honey to Epstein and Maxwell wasn't these services of videotaping you.
no
It was the money
money.
laundering to hide the wealthy. So I think that that has to be considered.
And if
And
you
we
look
don't
at,
know. But you know what? If it was used the same methodology, Trump was a billionaire looking for tax cuts. Remember, he didn't pay taxes.
yeah,
And you know something? He lived the life of a playboy even while he was married. I think that's pretty clear. And he owned beauty pageants and the whole shit. So what we don't know is this, is what's in there. But we do know this. Sure looks like a cover up now, doesn't it?
right, exactly, for something.
And I remember how many times I would tell you, look for how high they build the walls. Those what you want to look behind. Remember the amount of they attacked me when I went here and the amount of people that were sent to stop me. That's the height of the wall. That tells you what they fear. The DOJ is afraid that this going to flip on them. Maxwell can tell you that the DOJ is complicit with the Mossad, with the blackmail, and those lawyers are leveraging the Senate and the Congress and control the judiciary in our states. So this is how big this is. You have no justice, right? There's no one to go to. Isn't that their job? Remember, Trump didn't put anybody in jail from 16 to 20. He was handled with the Russian hoax, they say. It's the DOJ. He couldn't have pulled the trigger. Do you know why? Because he was in the Epstein files.
Yeah,
He was leverageable. Do you know why he didn't open Pandora's box, as we found out through Stacy Burke, the suggestion that he got it? My evidence exactly at that time? Because he couldn't open it. He did get it. Because again, he couldn't open it because the DOJ would block it. Who sent Flynn, the DOJ, to intercept my evidence? Who is behind the brokered convention? Was Flynn and the Department of Justice. And that brings you to Sununu. And then back to New Hampshire, back to Maxwell. Remember, Who was governor when Maxwell lived in New Hampshire? Sununu. You think they didn't know? She didn't hide. She bought a home. All right, let's go on. Hit it. But that's a good point, Crash. Okay, let me explain. Could you blow that up a tad just so I know which one I'm reading?
We're at Maxwell.
Okay. There we go. I got it. All right. Real simple question. When was Maxwell arrested in New Hampshire? Right? Ghislaine Maxwell was arrested in Bradford, New Hampshire on July 2nd, 2020. Okay, now remember now, I've been telling you about the money laundering network since 2013. Now she was arrested on July 2020. Okay, now slide it again. Who was the AG at the time of Maxwell's arrest in New Hampshire?
Well, you
got that one?
You want to say something about him first, I think.
Well, okay.
With Maxwell.
No, I had him next.
Yeah,
I had him next.
Right,
okay. Okay, let's do that one. All right.
Well, this is what you had next. So
okay, that's fine. That's fine. Andrew Llewellyn, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember the list of evidence that was given to the head of the Department of Justice? He works directly under the AG. He controls all of New England. What's in the Pandora Pandora's box is those same names as the Epstein files, was given to Llewellyn, that guy right there who wanted to run for governor. Now, when was Llewellyn? When did he resign? When did Andrew Llewellyn resign as the United States Attorney? Andrew Llewellyn resigned, United States Attorney, District of Massachusetts. Again, all of New England, February 22nd, 2021. All right.
Yeah.
Meaning, our boy, Llewellyn, who was taking our evidence that you saw, people seen, he itemized it, right? He told you, what did I tell you? Money laundering, the IRS, the banking department, the 50 million, all of it, attempted murder, right? He had it all. So, but he's the one who would have had to authorize the arrest warrant on Maxwell. Llewellyn would. Now, who did Llewellyn give the evidence to? Well, let's see. There's where you go with the bar. He gave it to AG Barr in writing. So Barr knew about the money laundering in New Hampshire, the portal, what Pandora Papers told you later, what Maxwell's telling you now, and why she moved there. Where does a blackmailer move? The place she has the most leverage. All right. And what did we? When Maxwell was arrested, at the time of the arrest in Bradford, New Hampshire on July 2nd, 2020, the United States Attorney General was Bill Barr, the guy who got our evidence. And who the hell do you think sent Flynn? Right? The Department of Justice. Barr. You don't think Barr would do it? His ass is on the paperwork, so's Llewellyn. I know now, they knew that there was a second attempt to pay me off in this circle with the Department of Justice that I stopped. That was Titka. That was Sorelli. But let's not forget now who we gave the evidence to is who arrested Maxwell. Who represented Maxwell? Oh, wait a minute. Want to connect some more dots? You'll love this. At the time of the arrest, Bill Shaheen and Gordon, his law firm. That's right. Wait a minute. Now, who's Bill Shaheen? Well,
I'm sure you're going to tell us.
Even if you don't ask. Hillary Clinton's campaign manager, right? The husband, the Senator Shaheen, who targets people with using the IRS. You're going to love this. Department of Defense. She's one of the heads of the committees. That's why New Hampshire makes the most weapons. Now, ready? Bill Shaheen is the architect of the laundering network. Do you have a picture of Billy with well,
I
we got Bill. Okay, I didn't
I
give it to you.
don't.
But he
No.
had pictures with Bill Clinton. So see, there's the marriage of Shaheen with the Clintons. You know those foundations that they run, that they money launder? You're gonna find out that's how this goes, and that's the path how it goes. That's how Epstein path to 21 trillion. Anybody missing trillions? Yeah, you are. All right, now think about this. We keep going. All right, now hit it, Crash.
This is
Okay,
the email from.
I got it. I got it on this. Is that the proof of extortion of IRS?
It's the IRS extortion video cover up, the FBI
Okay,
cover up. Yeah,
okay. I'm going to go with this
it's
one.
hard for us to see these. Sorry.
Okay, I'll read it. I'll read it to you. Now, what this is what you have to understand is you want proof? This is proof of the written evidence also given to Llewellyn as a description of the evidence that he had inside files and so forth. So what you're going to see is Llewellyn knew what all this was. He can't. This is also part of the Department of Justice and went to AG Barr. Now, remember now, this is why Maxwell was in New Hampshire. She's leveraging him with the laundering network. The same laundering network that they turn around and use corruptly to videotape, blackmailing with the money is, is the heart of the story. Now, here, ready? Subject to Llewellyn. Absolute proof of IRS extortion FBI cover for the purpose of protecting a network of corruption. In these exhibits, I will show you absolute proof to extortion of the IRS and the cover up of the FBI. This will be the door into a network of corruption that sells protection to clients, that is pharmaceutical companies, insurers, hospitals, treatment centers, pain clinics, drug cartel. The same network uses the IRS to extort and protect, and it also launders. Think about this. Ready? How hard is it? They're stealing trillions, and the IRS can't find a soul. But you. Okay. So, in other words, this is what Llewellyn had. All right. You got the next one. So, in other words, this is also part of the exhibit that was given to Llewellyn in the description. Ready? The head of this network is attorney Bill Shaheen, husband of Democratic Senator Gene Shaheen, exhibit one. Now, understand, Llewellyn knows who Shaheen is. Llewellyn knows about the cartel and the money laundering, and and the head of it is being Bill Shaheen. Bill Shaheen came from the Department of Justice. Bill Shaheen had that asshole's job. See? The Department of Justice. Now, Llewellyn. But they can't say they didn't know. And these exhibits are evidence and proof. But it's a cover up. And you know when it's a cover up? You know what they do? Ready? They use the same people. Because at that point, you're incriminating yourself. You don't want someone else to come in and go, I ain't touching that. And the ones who don't touch it, and say what you're doing. All right, ready? The head of this network's attorney, Bill Shaheen, husband of Democratic Senator Gene Shaheen. Exhibit one. You will see multi-articles. Gene Shaheen has been targeting enemies using the IRS. Number two, a settlement agreement and a list of individuals requesting a release. These releases are part of this network. And that network is the laundering network. That network is the Pandora's box. And several were my attorneys, as was Bill Shaheen. Again, he knows. I want you to pay particular attention to the names and the entities listed, especially Shaheen and the IRS. Both have to do criminal nature of this exhibit. Exhibit 2B, additional aim. It corresponds to discusses settlement and releases. So they know they want to pay me $50 million. They have it. And think about this. It's all real. What am I? Bullshit in the Department of Justice, the head of the Department of Justice and the AG, you dumb assholes. And the ones who question it, the ones that are incriminated to use to cover it up. The same Aaron Day, James O'Keefe that were working with the Mossad and working to intercept me. And where did they go? In New Hampshire. Where did they turn around and try to intercept the Pandora's box? What is Maxwell in New Hampshire doing? Laundering and leveraging with the money laundering network. Exactly what those assholes did. And all probably connected to the Mossad. No, the probable part, is Epstein. That's how sure I am of O'Keefe. What did that asshole do but take your picture and blackmail you? When did they, in all this time in New Hampshire, what did he come up with? Oh, 60-year-old woman who voted twice? Stop the presses. And he took in tens of millions, you see? And it was a blackmail operation. Okay, hit it, Crash. Now, let's see how this is turning. Now, remember, a reminder, and you know what? I actually don't like to tell you I told you so
You
because
sure
I have
about
to
that?
do it so often. But if you look at this 5 years ago, ready? I said they were money laundering. Did you hear it from anyone else? In fact, me and Trask was just talking. If you remember a couple of years ago when I came into this podcast nightmare, I go to remember these two words, money laundering. You're going to hear more about it as time goes on. Well, here we are, folks. That's what they'll, if you're going to steal, you're going to be able to clean it. So, what did I tell you in that video? Ready? July, you don't have to put up, July of 2020, okay? Before the Pandora papers, before any of this, right? Before Flynn went to reach out to me. What is it, 5 months after this? See? And then Pandora's papers, another year and 3 months after that. So what's happening now is what I was telling you then. 5 years ahead. I had them. I told you what they were doing and leveraging with that. But that's what you're seeing now. Okay, hit it, Crash. Okay. Now remember, let's start targeting. Now we know Shaheen was her lawyer and his law firm was represented her at the time of the arrest. Why is the time of the arrest? That's when they talked. Remember Lee Harvey Oswald before he had a lawyer? And he said, what is he, I'm a patsy or something? Then they shot him. You see? They snatch you in the beginning. Mullen had to be involved. This was high powered. So in other words, same player, same player. Now wait a minute. After I gave you Pandora's box, you've seen the tape that I just showed you that was 5 years before. Then you learned out that $935 billion was sent and tracked to the state of New Hampshire from foreign governments, corrupt politicians, drug cartels. 935 billion. Now think about that.
With a
That's
B.
your defense budget. What was that, Crash?
I said with a B, not
Right. Billions, okay? Into the same laundering network I gave to you. That's the filter put. That's what Shaheen built. You know your Senate and your Congress? You know the money that comes back through like Pandora's papers? It gets shuffled back to the payoffs. It gets shuffled back to your senator, your congressman, your governor, your AG's office, the Department of Justice. That's why it's so dangerous. Maxwell gives you the Department of Justice. I give you the Department of Justice. Stacy Burke will be a witness because it was the Department of Justice that stopped the J6 investigation when it came down to the black ops in Flynn and Trump having my evidence. Again, they stop it there. That's the value here.
now
That's the importance of what you're seeing.
the Pandora, you found that network of laundering before the Pandora papers came out.
Yes, yes. In fact, guess what now? Ready? All while I was being, now remember, I was being sued in 2016. I was running for governor in 2016. So
Right.
that's again 5 years before the Pandora papers. And I was
Right.
telling you money laundering. And I was telling you what was going on. The people who went to try to murder me were the people who threatened the reporters of the Pandora papers. Remember, he went to jail, through a brook. That's Gill. Remember
Okay.
the Hell's Angels cut the girl's head off.
Yeah.
Kill me. Right? Now you heard that. It was on a recording. And guess what? The Department of Justice, Andrew Mullen, has that recording. It is listed in the agreement. Murder for hire. All right. Well, who tried to? Oh, just the cartel and
Right.
Shaheen. And who covered it up? The Department of Justice. When Mullen got that evidence, it was the evidence with the IRS. It was the cover up of Titka. It was the recording of the Inspector General. It was the sealed envelopes. It's what me and Crash gave you a podcast or two ago because we laid that evidence out. That opened the door. You didn't know it, but remember, I used to go, these envelopes is the most important evidence. It got lulling. What you've got to do is bait the hook to get out the decision makers. It got me a Bill Shaheen. It only cost the cartel and a few $100 million.
I was going to say a couple million. So how did the Pandora Papers reporters come? Do you know how they got started reporting on that or researching?
What they did was they reported the article of the Pandora Papers. And what they did, they reported what was domestically reported in the Pandora Papers. And guess what? It was only the ones that I called out. Granite State Recovery, right? Auto
Fair, yeah.
All the ones that I said were cartel were proven they were, is why they took the money. Isn't that ironic? Dartmouth, Perspective Trust. Everybody I called out was in the Pandora Papers.
Okay.
Dartmouth Hospital. So not only did we get them, not only did they land in the nest, everyone that I got sued for that I said that this was part of a cartel and a money laundering network, the same entity that's got a casino in every town in the state of New Hampshire now. Hallelujah. And they also own Planet Fitness. How many of those in your town? So you know what? A cartel near you.
Yeah.
That's what it is. That's money laundering. And that's the trillions they stole from you. Okay, hit it, Crash. See, now we're still connecting dots, okay? Connect the dots. Now, Epstein and Maxwell together, now it's coming out that Epstein stole 21 trillion or was controlling 21 trillion, money that was stolen from you. Okay? So in other words, we're introducing money laundering. Hit it. Now it's Epstein. Now that's what they're saying. There's what attracted those people to Epstein. It was what he did. It's what Epstein did. Let me see what else he says. Is that what he says? To 21 trillion disappeared from DOD and HUD. Can I tell you this quick story? All right, now Department of Defense. The military that's coming to save you, it turns out they've been robbing your ass blind. Okay. And it's tied in with Israel and the Mossad again, just like the DOJ. And listen, if what's all this stealing is true, who did the DOJ arrest and the FBI? You see where it says HUD? One of my key witnesses in the Pandora's box was the HUD department. You know what would happen? Shaheen would control HUD. HUD would give the money, and the cartels would build apartment complex. That's Stellar Arms, the one that the Sinaloa cartel was building. That was all the residential. They were getting the money from HUD. They were robbing it. The same people who was robbing the money from Medicaid expansion, the treatment centers and the hospitals, they were robbing urban development. They were robbing the cities, which is why Manchester became a slum.
I got it.
And the tenants became drug addicted and customers. And now they're finding it, but that's also federal stealing. All right, hit the next one. Control filing using sex entrapment. Okay, it's the same people. You know what? Turns out the blackmailers for your money. All right, I must have hit this other one. Okay, that doesn't matter. That's the next one. That's fine.
Yeah,
that's fine.
I'm ahead of you now.
All right. Now think about this. It's not just Dore saying this. This was that Value Entertainment. This was the Epstein files and what you know. Ready? And this is a guy, Hoffman. You can skip that.
Yeah, we did it. Yeah.
Okay. Now the next, put up that next one though.
Okay, that was Epstein.
Right. In other words, understand this is Value Entertainment. Okay. This guy Hoffman that they're talking about already went to jail. I think he's in for 6 years or something like that. 12. Okay. Working with Epstein for money laundering. And what does he call Epstein? Epstein allegedly learned money laundering and arms trading during this period. Ooh. Hoffman later claimed Epstein was the mastermind and key figure in laundering stolen funds. Hello. Okay, and this guy's serving 12 years and saying he's a mastermind. Remember, he went to school teaching mathematics for Bill Barr. You get it? I mean, Jesus, somebody's going to say, hey, that's a duck. He's walking, he's quacking, it's a duck. That's who this is. The Mossad, and then they honey trap these people, and he's a master money launderer. What does this one say? All right, bro. Epstein was reportedly involved in raising funds for Clinton Foundation. Uh-oh, the funds. Oh, wait a minute. Shaheen, connected to the Clintons, campaign manager, right? There you go. And what did they launder? And it says here, oh, Epstein was working with the Clinton Foundation. How'd that go for everybody? Ask the people in Haiti. And their financial ties may have included shared donors with Leslie Wexner. He's not Jewish, is he? You see, the Mossad. And it's still funding these platforms. It's funding Epstein. It's controlling the Senate and the Congress. It's controlling guys like what? Bill Gates? I don't know if I sent you that picture, but there's a picture of Gates all over with Epstein. Gates' wife was said to divorce him, but by his relationship with Epstein. I mean, tell me, what good is that? And think about these foundations. What if Gates is hiding money through foundations? Don't think that these billionaires are adverse to hiding money, to laundering money. So when you say the Epstein files, you see the Pandora's box. You have the names of the Pandora papers. Why can't we look into all those names, investigate everybody? Hey, if you're innocent, good for you.
Right.
If
I mean,
you're not,
the names are
good
all
for us.
documented.
Was it?
I'm sorry, the names are already documented in that all that research.
There's videotapes, hundreds, and they say that every room in Epstein's palace there was videotaped. And then you'd have things where didn't Bondi say they were thousands of hours or hundreds of tapes? We want to analyze all of it. Give us everything, everything. Analyze who's in the tapes. I want to know the victim. I want to know what happened to the victim. I want to know the perpetrator. And I want to know, then you can start bringing them in and start questioning them. What do they bring you? What tapes or evidence do other people have? And listen, if we come up with a Bill Gates, we come up with Clinton, if we come up with a President Trump, this is in politics. And I'm going to tell you something. They don't look at you as politics. They divide you with politics, white hat, black hat, you're a Republican, Democrat. Ask yourself this. Have Republicans and Democrats, as has been, ever agree on anything by saying, hey, open up the Epstein files? And then we have Democrats going, no, no, no. We got Republicans, no, no, no. I mean, this shit's starting to get obvious. And you know what? It won't go away. Because it can't go away. Because if they are predators, if they are corrupt money launderers, they can't be in political position. Is there anything now? And you know something? I don't think we should immediately put J.D. Vance in. I mean, not when he's connected to Musk, and was clearly his choice, and it was Musk who started the Epstein fire. Musk didn't come in here and say, hey, we can audit the Senate and the Congress. Let me audit these 100 people. I'll get back to you, and let's see if we can't change a whole country in 7 days. And turn around back, who's paying us off? Whose country's controlling us? You know, we can all do that. You don't think, why do you think Senator Shaheen resigned, right? Now think about this now. All of these key back, even while I was for the brokered convention in Arizona, it was part of the plan was put Sununu and Haley in place. So we still go back to those arrests, to Maxwell. That was Sununu. That was Power. That's the Department of Justice. That was Shaheen. That's Epstein and Maxwell. That's Lullen. That's why I was intercepted by Flynn. It is also your path. There is no other path. If you're looking for a hero, a white knight, you ain't getting it. You made yourself believe that that was with Trump because they gave you a Biden, which clearly was corrupted. Who ran the country? Couldn't be the DOJ, right? And what was Obama? He wasn't a Harvard lawyer, was he? Oh, he was. Did he ever have his fucking job? Never. Hey, he's a product for the Department of Justice, Slick Willie. And he was perfect for the job. He was everything they wanted, but complete control of you. Trump, they couldn't control because he was a wild card, so they leveraged him with blackmail. And he held the line. Nobody went to jail. In 6 months, anybody go to jail? I mean, how about this? In 6 months, the only possibility is the one person we put in jail, it's going to get out. So we didn't even get one. We
Yeah.
didn't even get Maxwell. And if you don't think she's off like a prom dress, you're crazy. I got the DOJ and I've got Trump. And you know what? Flynn's survival is I got the DOJ and I got Trump. That's
And
how Flynn survives.
they put Flynn got Tina Peters in jail, sitting there rotting away. So, I
This
mean,
could be bad news for Tina Peters. Now, Tina Peters can say, hey, I got it from Flynn. Who did she say? Who did Lindell say he was listening to? Patrick Burns, General Flynn.
yeah,
General Flynn was a national security advisor. They're already going to tell you they point questions.
yeah.
Answer. So that's how they would leverage. They would leverage Flynn because Flynn, again, is one step to the Department of Justice. You got to watch the one-steppers. Trump's a one-step, right? Maxwell's a one-step. I'm a one-step. I'm inside the department. There you go. They got it. I'm one step. That's all you got. Stacy Burke's trying to be a one-step. She's trying to hook a ride. But that's all right. We can use her evidence. She's a witness. But that's what's going on. Whose fault is it? So it's going to come to the Department of Justice. And that's the thing, even with the cartels get off. The cartels saying, I've been paying protection. What am I paying protection for? And what do you get? You get AG judges completely in control from the Department of Justice. Okay. Is that all? Is that our picture show?
That's all your slideshow. Yep.
All right.
I wanted to say something real quick for the people
Yeah.
who have been, I've seen comments or they come at me with a personal message or whatever, but Mike is not a podcaster. He had to start a podcast to get his voice out there because he has nothing. And you're going to hear a repeat. You're going to see the repeats of his pictures and his story because he's not an entertainer like the rest of these guys. He's a witness. He's a whistleblower. And not enough people take it.
I'm a witness and a whistleblower.
Right.
I am both.
And not enough people take it seriously. They blow it off as, you're crazy or whatever, and you yell and scream. But, 20 years of living like this would create a lot of tension in people. I mean, people don't understand what you go through.
Here's the point where I get frustrated because let's not forget who I was. All right. And I know, and you've heard that. This is what you haven't heard and what you haven't seen. You haven't seen the movement that is happening now. What I told you then, you couldn't understand, and you didn't understand, and you didn't understand. But as you're seeing it, as you're living it, maybe you will. Part of teaching is repetition. And I am trying to drill through skulls that are extremely thick. Who was I? Somebody who was very rich. If I didn't go after them, I would have owned some sports team. I was one of the people looking and buying to the Red Sox. That was my trajectory. And what did I have? Insight, forecast. If you could understand me, I wouldn't be that person. Now, would I? Or
Right.
You'd be rich. So, in other words, part of this frustration, I'm bringing you to the door. What's happening now? Maxwell and Epstein as money launderers, where did that come from? From me only. You check. You check if anybody said that because it was off bounds. It is what I found. And that's why I am a witness, not just the evidence. I am in the negotiations. I was in that with the Department of Justice. I turn around with, they know who I am, what I have.
Right. The Q people took our attention to the children. Okay. With Epstein. So
Right.
I'm not saying that's not true. I'm just saying I don't remember when I came into this world of whatever you want to call it. I don't remember hearing about money laundering with all the billionaires and things. And I'm going to tell you right now, I just showed Mike some things. If you research even Trump, there's some things, there's connections that there's lawsuits and everything that I didn't know about. So there's the money is part of this whole thing that we never even looked at as Q. and the people that were in that group, because it was directed towards the children. And I don't know if that was to keep us away from the
It was a bait on the hook.
kind of, yeah.
Q was intelligence. And
Right.
they threw, and you had maybe a couple guys, I'm telling you, controlled intelligence. They control everything. Ready?
Right.
Q turns around, have you chasing that. They chasing that. They don't want to tell you. They turn around, told him Durham was a good guy. He is a Department of Justice. He is who they sent in to intercept and cover it up. And they called you a good. You know why? Because they wanted you to think as Durham. They wanted you to accept Durham. They wanted you to trust Durham. Now, what did history tell us? You couldn't trust Durham. So what the hell was Q saying then? What did I say? Oh, I was only meeting with the son of a bitch and told you he was corrupt. That whistleblower video, I thought I was going to get snuffed in a parking lot. And it
Right.
was Durham's people. You
Yeah.
see? So, in other words, where have they been? I've been ahead of these people for years. I showed you a video for 5 years. I showed you from 2013, the settlement, telling you it was a money laundering. That was 12 years ago. And you know something? Who is this guy way ahead? Oh, I don't know. The guy who got filthy rich from being way ahead. I didn't steal. I played it honest. You know why? You know what played it honest? Here you go. You know what they do with criminals? They blackmail them. You know what they couldn't do with me? Blackmail me. Oh, they try to make shit up that they couldn't. And you want to know who's honest? It's the ones who take the money. They got to pay you, like 50 million. Now you want a real one? And I think I'm the only one in this club. You don't take the 50, you let them take your 400, and you go to war expecting to die. Now, how many of those do you got? If
None.
I'm a little repetitive, it's because you're a little slowed up on the uptake. So now that you've understand even what you're seeing, apply it today.
Well,
Apply
that's
it
what
to what you're seeing.
I never got to finish. I was just going to say what Mike has gone through and what he's showing us now is connecting to current events. I mean, and it's all coming together, and he's seeing that, and that's what he's showing us. And if you don't, I'm just going off of what some people have been talking to me about, that they don't want
I
to
know.
hear the
This is happening because it is in collapse.
it
The
actually
DOJ is being
right,
exposed. Election fraud is being exposed. The players involved are the ones that I gave you. What
right.
you have to have, what nobody else has. And if somebody else has, please comment and let me know. Already? A path to how you win the game and you get your money back. Give me that one. I gave it to you. And you know what? Maxwell's going, I'm here to the dance. This is where I've got to go. Stacy Burke goes with Gill. Oh, we're latching on for the ride. Now, what from the inside is telling you where we are? And no one goes away. They leave me for last because I'm not the guy who says yes, which
What do you?
also means, as I told Crash, they've got plans on me disappearing one way or the other sooner than later. You see this deal with Maxwell? They'll shut me. They're going to give me the same offer. And I won't take a deal. I haven't taken a deal. Hey, listen, I've already pissed through all the years I had left. I'm going out 100%. I'm going to
Now,
play for the trophy. I always played for the trophy.
now on popcorn or hot dogs, you'll take a deal, right?
On what?
If you're buying popcorn or hot dogs, there's something to live off of. You'll take a deal on that, right?
How
They give
about this?
it buy
I've
one
been
get
eating
one free.
and haven't taken the deal.
Buy one get one free popcorn.
I buy. Did I show you the big bags I buy?
Yeah,
I mean, they're big, big bags like this, but
yeah. Gotta survive somehow.
yeah. Well, you know something? I know what I'll leave you all with this. Crash goes. He says that to me sometimes and he doesn't leave. I'll leave you with this. I know for a fact in time, I hope it was sooner than later,
Sooner than later.
but you're going to know who I was, what I did. I'll be dead, but you're going to all figure it out. I am not worried about you not knowing who I am. You're going to know what I did because it will come out. But I've got a feeling they're waiting on me. I've talked to too many people who do know the story. You see what I'm saying? But in this kind of climate, think of the political climate. That's when people were saying, "Hey, Michael, open Pandora's box." I'm going, "You guys get this shit?" That's like Maxwell saying, "Open that pen. I can give you the information. I gave you the fucking names. They came to kill my ass when I gave you the name, and you didn't believe me. I put their asses on signs,
Right.
highways, millions of days. Hey, this is your cartel. This is a corrupt judge. That's Bill Shaheen." All right, Crash.
All right. See you, Mike.
Bye.
Bye.